Silverton Audio presents the unabridged recording of Submitting to the Sheriff, Cowboy Dom's Book 2, written by B.J. Wane, narrated by Natalie Bradshaw. Chapter 1. The flashing outline of the neon-red motel sign bled through the curtained window, shedding an eerie glow into the darkened room, and distracting Avery Pierce from glaring at the cell phone she'd tossed onto the bed beside her. Propped against the headboard, she tightened her clasped hands, trying not to panic over her current destitute circumstances, which had just worsened after her first attempt at this new job ended in such a failed, embarrassing fiasco. With a mental headshake, she wondered why she'd ever thought she could pull this off.
"Relax, would you? You're so fucking uptight you're as rigid as a fucking virgin."
She could still recall Darren's comments the first time they'd had sex, and how they'd made her feel inept and unappealing, the same as her first caller had just made her feel. A phone sex operator? What the heck had she been thinking? Her lack of experience with both sex and men in general had been glaringly obvious to her ex, as well as to the man who hung up on her after less than a minute. At that rate, the extraordinarily high hourly pay she'd been promised would take weeks to earn, instead of the day or two she'd been hoping for. Heck, she bemoaned on a sigh. If her next caller ended their conversation that fast, she might not get a third chance. And then how would she get out of Springfield and continue with putting as much distance as possible between herself and Darren? Avery's minimal college dating experiences had taught her most guys didn't go for brainy geeks with mousy brown hair, best left worn in a braid, and wearing black-framed glasses, and those who did, didn't stick around. By the time she'd reached the age of 29, the only man she'd let herself trust, after those depressing breakups, had been Detective Darren Lancaster, and her chest tightened against the instant upkick of her heart rate just thinking about him caused. The phone pealed again, and she jumped, her palm growing clammy as she picked it up. With less than $100 left of her meager savings, and not knowing whom she could trust.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?